Coming out of high school in 2017, there was a quarterback who was 45-0 as a starter, threw for over 7,500 passing yards, and had 113 touchdowns. He went by the name of Tate Martell. There's no other way to put it. Tate Martell was one of the highest regarded quarterback recruits, not just of his class, but maybe of all time. He had that swagger and talent about him you just love to see out of a young guy. Some did label it as him being cocky, but I just think he was extremely confident. It's hard for me to label him as cocky in high school because he backed it up. He never lost a game and he was phenomenal. Don't let how he played in college affect how you view his high school career. It was legendary. He was also on a Netflix show, and of course, when you get on a show like that, you're going to have a lot of haters and a lot of critics. The show he was on, some of you may have or may have not seen, it was called QB1 Beyond the Lights. It was basically a documentary of his life and some other quarterbacks. When you're a top quarterback, you're already going to have a lot of pressure and critics. But when you're a top quarterback and you're on a Netflix documentary, it takes it to a whole nother level. I don't think some people quite understand how much pressure was on this guy. I don't think he minded the pressure. If anything, I think he enjoyed it and he liked the responsibility of people wanting him to fail. Fast forward in time to his college days, it's been an absolute train wreck, and I think most of you know that. Nobody has heard or even seen much out of this guy in the past year or two, but however, we have a major update. How do I say this nicely? Tate Martell has officially hit rock bottom. What's good, y'all? Hope you're having a blessed day. I would really appreciate if you go down there, hit that subscribe button, and join our family. It's free. You can always unsubscribe later. Leave a like, do all that nice stuff. And now without further ado, let's get into it. Oh man, Tate Martell. Where do I even start with him? I'm not going to tell you his entire life story and what's happened to him. We're going to run over it briefly, and I've already made an entire video talking about what happened to him. And I don't want to bore you guys. Most of you know what happened, but let's talk about it. In 2017, being the #2 dual threat quarterback in his class, he signed with Ohio State. It didn't go good for Ohio State. He was a backup, and he never started a single game. And right when he thought maybe he could be a starter, that's when Justin Fields transferred there, and it crushed his dreams. Whenever Fields transferred to Ohio State, he said, okay, I'm going to transfer to Miami. I guess he thought he was going to win the job easily, and that didn't even happen. And he wasn't even the backup. He was the third string quarterback. It got so bad, he moved positions to tight end. You want to talk about life hitting you fast and with a brick wall. In 2016, he was one of the best high school quarterbacks in the country. And by 2018, he wasn't even a second string. He was playing tight end. That right there, ladies and gentlemen, is the definition of being humbled. There were some rumors going on that him and maybe the coaching staff didn't get along in Miami, so he transferred once again to UNLV. Let's take a look at his career stats. At Ohio State, Miami, and UNLV, he didn't start a single game. For Ohio State, his numbers are okay, but it was in mop-up duty. He was 23 for 28. 80 completion percentage, threw for nearly 270 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interception. In 2019 for Miami, he was 1 for 1 with 7 yards. And last but not least, he didn't play in 2020 and 2021 for UNLV. He was the third string quarterback, and he was 2 for 6 with a 33 completion percentage, 27 yards. Martell at UNLV was rock bottom, and it was the end of everything. UNLV is one of the worst teams in college football, and the starting quarterback, he got hurt throughout this season, and Martell still couldn't start. I've never felt this way. I wouldn't go out of my way to go to a college football practice and watch a quarterback, but I mean this 100%. I would love to go watch one of his practices at Ohio State, Miami, or UNLV. When you look at his size and body frame and you see some of his throws he made at Ohio State, you could tell this man was a good quarterback, or not good quarterback, but he could have been a good quarterback. Do I think he had the best arm talent ever? No, but he was a dual threat quarterback, so his arm, yeah, it wasn't the best, but he could also scramble here and there. He brought a lot to the table, or what appeared to us as fans, it looked like a lot to the table. But apparently, he couldn't have been that good. He couldn't see playing time for Miami. He couldn't even get reps in freaking practice. That's how bad it got. To put the icing on the cake, like I said, you couldn't even play for freaking UNLV. Over the past year or two, nobody has said anything about him or heard anything about him. he hasn't been playing. There's nothing really to talk about. But however, the news has came out, and it was only a few hours ago, that Tate Martell, the former chosen one, has officially retired from football. Yes, that's right, you heard me correctly. This isn't a joke. Martell's retired. What's kind of strange about it, he still has 1 year left of college eligibility, so he could still play college if he wanted to. You may be curious, what's he gonna do next? According to someone close to him, he's gonna do something with business. One of the few people who have leaked this information, here's what he had to say on Twitter, and no, this isn't some random guy. He's actually involved with UNLV. He tweeted out, "I wanted to give an update on UNL football quarterback Tate Martell. He is retired from football and focusing on business ventures. He is grateful for Coach Arroyo and UNLV for giving him a chance. I would also keep an eye on what Tate has going on business-wise. It's about to blow up." That last part about the tweet, it's laughable. The quote-unquote, it's about to blow up, come on now. I'm not buying that. He's got to prove something to me. I hate whenever people start up new businesses or just new anything, and you see it with high school athletes, college athletes, they're always saying, "Oh, I'm up next." How about you shut up and just prove it? You know what I'm talking about in real life or in high school. There's some people that talk the talk and there's others that walk the walk. And most people, I'd say 95% of the people in this world, they're just going to talk about doing stuff. They don't actually do it. So if I was you, I would take this Martell business thing he's going to start with a grain of salt. I did some digging and research. He hasn't posted a picture or anything about it, but in his bio he changed it. His bio now says Trademark Enterprises and University of Miami alum. If you're kind of curious about the Miami alumni, I believe that's where he got his degree and that's why he's got them in his bio. It's not really a case of, oh, he liked Miami better and he left Ohio State and UNLV on bad terms. It's more of that's where his degree's from. At least that's what I know. If I'm wrong about that, feel free to drop some comments down below. Now hold on. It's not quite as simple as that, and in my opinion, things are just starting to get interesting. So when I went to his Instagram, he has his comments limited. I think you gotta follow him to comment. But 4 days ago, somebody commented, "You really quit football," and that got over 29 likes. Like I said, that comment was from 4 days ago, so apparently a couple of people around town, they've already heard about the news. And if you look at all of his previous posts, I know they're from 2021, but most of them are inspirational stuff about him working out and him loving the process. I don't want to say I'm shocked about it, but I wonder if something happened if he had a fallout with the program. It could be that, but here's what I think happened in the most logical explanation. He understands that his football career, it peaked in high school, and he's not going to start for UNLV, so why would he do all these workouts and spring training and sit on the bench for no reason when he could be starting some real life experiences like starting his own business? I realize a lot of you in the comment section, and anytime Tate Martell gets brought up, everyone jokes on him and clowns on him because he flopped and he's the transfer portal guy that started all this transfer nonsense and blah 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 blah. He gets a lot of hate and backlash. Some of it is warranted, but for the most part, some of it's not. The only time I thought the hate was somewhat acceptable is when at Ohio State he tweeted out, "Don't swing and miss, especially twice." And if you know what I'm talking about, you know. I'm not going to explain it. Or my bad, the quote was word for word, "Don't swing and miss, especially not your second time." And it's only ironic because he transferred and he basically swung and missed his second time. Here's my biggest thing with Martell, and we'll end the video off here. You may not like him as a quarterback, you may not have liked the high school version of him, you may not agree with his decisions to transfer. But I haven't heard any rumors or people at all coming out with stories about him being a bad person. And even if you didn't like his attitude or how he acted in high school in that Netflix documentary, come on now, that was 3 to 4 years ago. In high school, we've all said and done things we regret. Our lives just weren't documented in Netflix. I don't know him on a personal level. I'm not claiming to. Maybe he could be this secret bad guy that does a ton of bad things I just haven't heard about. But last time I checked, and from everything I've seen, he seems like an okay dude. A couple of years ago, an older gentleman told me a quote, and it somewhat stuck with me. Sometimes no news is good news. What did he mean by that? Sometimes when you're not in the headlines, it means you're doing everything right and there's nothing bad to talk about. I have a great example. Let's compare two quarterbacks. Quarterback number 1, Johnny Manziel. Yeah, man, you was a great college quarterback. You was about as good as it gets. You won the Heisman Trophy. You beat Alabama. But when you're a terrible person, It gets rid of all the great stuff you've done as a quarterback. Johnny Manziel had all the talent in the world, but you've heard the rumors and most of them have been proved to be true. He wasn't that great of a person. I'm in no position to say who's a good person or who's a bad person, so let me say it in a better way. He didn't do good things off the field. He got in fights, it was proven, he did drugs, and there's many more things I can name off. And also, he wasn't the greatest teammate in the world, but that's a different conversation for a different day. On the other hand, quarterback number 2, Tate Martell. Martell hasn't been a good college quarterback, he's barely even played, but you don't hear all these crazy allegations about him off the field. So what does that even mean? Why did I bring it up? Because although Martell wasn't the greatest college quarterback of all time, he can still be successful in many other areas of his life. Am I taking up for Martell? No, absolutely not. Here's what I am doing. I'm telling you the cold hard facts. I want you guys to really understand this. It's easy for me and you to sit on the couch and say, oh, Martell shouldn't have transferred. He should have waited it out. But we're not in that position. When you're a 5-star quarterback and the backup quarterback and you feel like a better opportunity can be at a different school, sometimes it can be the right opportunity, and we've seen that happen. Look at Joe Burrow in LSU. Sometimes transferring it works out, and sometimes it doesn't. This was just a case where football wasn't meant for Tate Martell. It's kind of sad how his football career ended, especially with all the backlash he received, and he never proved all the haters wrong. But maybe it's not so bad. Yo, Matt, what do you mean by that? You're contradicting yourself. And no, I'm not. Sometimes bad things have to happen to you so good things can start to happen. Sometimes you need adversity to happen so you can get a wake-up call and really start to do what God or whatever you believe in called you to do and your destiny in this life. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, whenever you get older, you can come back to this video and you may understand it a little more. RIP to Tate Martell's football career. I'm wishing this man the best of luck in his trademark enterprise career. I guess that's what it is. Let me know your thoughts down below. But with all that being said, that's going to wrap up this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys learned something. If you're new to the channel, what are you doing? Join the family. Hit that subscribe button and leave a like for more. And as always, let's be great. I'm out, y'all. Peace.